So, very good day and welcome to this presentation. And yes, the past 2 months have been difficult for everyone going through this pandemic, and it's none that one actually could foresee or has lived through or even wish to live through or go through again, right? But it's just something that we have hope that we live with that is going to get us out of this pandemic completely, right? There is a time that we are going to meet our friends and family. We are going to travel. We are going to do the things that we need to do and live a better life. So, yes, this too shall pass. And some of you have been making very good use of the time that you actually have in hand, with especially the group from the first years who have been cooking up a storm. It's like a banquet every single day. And kudos to you all because the amount of research that you are doing, the expertise at the first year level, and even your presentation with the food, the beverages, I mean, top notch. So, we are actually kind of spellbound and out of words to describe how appreciative and how you inspire others as well. Now, when it comes to this pandemic, there are a few things that come to mind when you think about it, and few things that I thought of penning down in a small piece that I've written and calling it, for obvious reasons, Co. We Did It. So I've sat myself at 3 a.m., penning my thoughts so dearly, while some believe I stay up late, for others, I woke up early. So, what's life then, post pandemic? Getting back into the rat race? I hope not. We're all exhausted. Let's choose a slower pace. How do birthdays and anniversaries get celebrated? Have we thought this out yet? No feeding cake or sweets, my friend, only too much regret. In schools, we are told sharing is caring, but not with lunch boxes anymore. Is it rude to say one bite of that sandwich can create a social uproar? What about homes when mums feed their children from morsel to morsel with so much care? The time has come where those loving hands may lead us to extreme despair. Now I know it has been extremely tough, and we are all finding ways to cope up, you know, and at some point of time you need to think about yourself. Now it is probably being a little selfish, but to keep yourself, centered and stable, uh, which is reading a lot, with observing interviews, with talking to people. There are a few points that I have actually listed, and hopefully, something that you may find helpful to work with during this pandemic. Number one, when you were in college, right, you had a time that you woke up every morning. It probably was 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. You knew you had to have a shower, grab something to eat, you know, get ready for college. You would carry your tiffin with you. When you went back home in the evening, you had a similar routine, right? And it's this routine, you know, that keeps you positive, and don't let go of it. Yes, maybe a little slip here and there, and of course, you are at home. You're not going to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, but still make sure that you wake up, you have enough of time to pray, exercise, meditate, spend time with loved ones, and keep that routine on rather than just being a couch potato. It's not helping anyone or you at all in this situation. Secondly, what happens is we have umpteen news channels, and all of it with so much data about the virus and the spread and the quarantine zones, and And along with that, today, with your messages that you keep on getting on your phone, with so much information available, at times it's a little bit of an overdose. And this overdose may not really be healthy because a lot of this information is not completely verified. What happens is we start building up walls when we get this information. If we have been told that, this certain area, yes, it's definitely important that you are cautious. But a lot of times with rumors being spread around, you know, we start cringing, and we get even more scared to deal with life during this pandemic. Also, we keep on spreading the information that we receive. And all in all, is not very healthy unless you have facts in place. And for that, I request you to not spend more than 10 or 15 minutes a day getting your news from a legitimate source. And that's about it. The third thing I want to talk to you about is during this pandemic, right? I'm sure a lot of you are passionate about so many things. It could be art, it could be culture, it could be music and cooking for the ones of you who have been cooking. Kindle this passion, you know, make sure you go back and forth to this passion. Let it bloom during this period. Because once the pandemic ends, you have a whole lot of things to deal with. There is going to be a complete change that's going to be new for all of us. And it is this one passion that you will find your comfort in. So right now that you have the time, let it dwell completely. And it will make things much better for you once we are out of this pandemic. When it comes to setting goals, and I know we'd love to get extremely adventurous, bordering towards unrealistic, and talking about, oh, I am going to lose like 10 kilos in 15 days, and this is what my body fat is going to be like, and this is how fit I'm going to be. And these goals are a little unrealistic because number one, you are taxing your body big time. Number two, with putting your body too much of strain, your immunity levels will drop. Number three, the mental pressure that you are going through to achieve this goal is immense. So either if you do succeed in your goal, you put yourself through that much of pressure. If, God forbid, you don't reach your goal during this time, again you pressurize yourself because you term yourself as a failure. So it's important and it's good that you have goals, but keep them a little more short-lived and a little more attainable and realistic to work on. You've heard this time and again from even friends and family, and it's important to talk things out. So call up people, your acquaintances. It could be the same boring conversation every single day, right? It's, what are you cooking today? Or what did you eat? Did you go out today? How much did you pay for this? Oh, so what's special this evening? Did you watch this movie? Yes, it is going to be that conversation, all right? And fairly so, we are restricted. We are all cocooned right now. We are not exploring to the best of our ability. So our conversations too are going to be limited. But in this situation, when you actually call up someone, number one, call them. It's not expensive anymore. And also what happens is it's a win-win situation, right? You, at the end of the day, when you weigh the things that you've done for the entire day, or the list of things that you've actually done, and scale through it, yes, part of it is I did call up so and so today. I had this fantastic conversation with them. It is a positive for you. The person that you called up to, you probably made their day with that one call. So it is win-win. At some point of time, it's also very important to vent out. I know that all of us are staying with our loved ones during this point of time. But it's a little too longer time that we are cloistered and living in these small spaces. And even the smallest things can now upset you, make you angry, irritate you, and annoy you. And it could be something as simple as, saying, I want to sleep till 8 in the morning. And someone comes into your room with a cup of coffee, stirring it and waking you up, and can be superbly annoying. So it's all right to talk it out, either with that person or with someone else while you're venting out, get it off your chest completely, because otherwise a small instance can blow up out of proportion. All right, and that's something you do not want during this point of time. If you have to learn a skill, all right, during this pandemic, learn something that excites you. Do it at your own pace, at your own leisure. It's only then that you want to actually kind of go back to it and revisit it. And a skill should be something that I'm not going to kind of finish off in these 3 months. No, it could be a language that you're taking. It could be probably a course on sugarcraft that you're doing online, right? It should be something that you want to build up on post the pandemic, right? And even post the pandemic, if it's going to be a very hectic schedule for you, you want to make that time to revisit it. And those should be the skills that you want to hone. All right, do not enroll yourself into a 1 year course online, or a 9 month diploma course online, because you do not know what tomorrow is going to be like, right? And maybe today you have the time and you will given that much of time, but once you get back into a different routine, a routine that none of us are yet completely aware of, you won't be able to do justice to that skill that you're trying to hone. All right, so choose something that's going to excite you and you want to make the time for it. It's like talking about one of these web series that you get hooked onto, right? And every evening you want to come back and view one episode. Similarly, the skill should be something that you want to revisit time and again whenever you have free time, right? Coming to how creative a person are you? I mean, we've seen this with you as first years, be it part of your induction, the English classes, advertising, your tea room event, right? To Spectrum, the artwork, the decor, and some of you are good with writing, some of you are good with speaking, some of you are good with elocution, some of you are good with presentations, craft, art, you name it. Now, during this pandemic, we've all been given this prolonged extra time in hand. But you may not find yourself as productive during this time. It's normal. Alright? You may think, I had to finish that book, and I promised myself I'm going to finish reading that book, or writing that blog, or finishing my painting or my sketch, and you may suddenly realize that you actually have a block right now that you've reached. And those creative juices are not flowing anymore, or at least, you know, for this period of time. And that is absolutely no. Alright, please don't be too harsh on yourselves, because what happens is when you go out, when you meet people, when you travel, right, when you build up on experiences, your brain gets oiled and starts working. On the other hand, when you are at home, in quarantine, in close quarters, your brain is now coiled and sitting, alright, and is waiting to explore more, but that will happen in due time. I think the last but not least of points that I want to bring out, and one most important one, is gratitude. I would wish for your daily morning prayer, just be grateful for everything that you have. All right. Uh, Wake up in the morning, and be grateful that you're alive. Wake up in the morning and be grateful that you have family, friends, teachers around you to support you. We talk about asking yourself certain questions. Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have a place to go to bed? Do you have food for your next meal? Do you have the health of yourself and your family members? And do you have finances to sustain you? Of course, you are not earning right now, but are you able to make good tomorrow? And if your answer to all of this is a yes, you should count your blessings, because not just in India, but a majority of the people in the world don't have this at all. So just being grateful is very positive. You know, it actually kind of makes you a more positive person because you are so thankful for everything that you have, rather than cribbing and grumbling during this pandemic, and it's not helping anyone. That brings me to the last part of this presentation, and that's something that deals with your industry and mine. And that brings me to a topic that I like to call, which is wiping the smile off your face. Sounds a little too tedious, right? Why would you want to wipe the smile off someone's face? But there are just two things that define the industry for me. The service industry, that is. Number one, when you enter a hotel or a restaurant and you are greeted with this warm smile, this big grand smile, to the extent where we're talking about, $1 million smile, to the extent where on telephone call we term it as the smile in your voice, to an extent where we talk about literally your smile reaching your eyes. And that's a beautiful greeting, right? At home as well, when you are hosting a party and you're also attending to the door at that point of time, and every guest that comes into your home, you welcome them with a smile, with your pleasantries, and they feel welcomed, warmed to come into your room and enjoy and spend that time with you. Then we're going to just hold that smile for a moment, right? The second aspect that defines the service industry for me completely is at the end of someone's meal, when you, as a service associate, have created an experience for someone that they're superbly grateful for, and they cannot thank you enough for creating memories for them, that they go home with the biggest of smiles and you know gratitude. And for me, the smile towards your guest when they enter your restaurant, and the smile and the thank yous when you are saying goodbye to them, have both left us thinking, are we going to see smiling people anymore? Because everyone today is wearing a mask. So, how do we greet our guests? How do we say our thank yous and goodbyes and warm wishes to them when they are leaving, when we all have a mask and we are standing distances away from them, right? It's just something that we should start thinking about. We have to find different ways and alternatives to actually make sure that we are still going to show our guests a wonderful experience, make even better memories, even though we're all going to go through this pandemic. All right. So thank you very much. I am so looking forward to a class with you all very soon. I will be putting up the schedule on the group itself. Thank you and have a lovely evening.